Good evening, Millbrook, and welcome to the Chelsea Morrison Theater and the 48th Annual College Bowl, truly a Millbrook tradition. This is winter weekends, battle of brains, competition of cognition, and waging of wits. It's my pleasure to introduce the man behind some of the technology we'll see tonight, Mr. Todd Feitelson, and our judges, Ms. Peggy Malik, Ms. Sarah McWright, and Dr. Alan Christian. Finally, our host, the third host in the 48 years, following Mr. Del Shilkret and Mr. Walker Zeiser. Please welcome Mr. Jeffrey Smith. Good luck to all the contestants. Now it's time for me to pull out the names of the first four. From House. Abbott. Harris. And Burton. Yeah. Good luck.
Well, welcome everybody. As Mr. Cosentano said, this is the 48th Annual Millbrook School College Bowl. The competition is going to be a little different this year, in part because we have 8 teams competing instead of 7, and in part because the whole school can't gather together in the theater to witness this awesome spectacle of trivial knowledge. So competitors, please pay attention. We will have 3 rounds. 2 preliminary rounds and 1 final round. So the 4 of you are the 4 teams in the first preliminary round. The other 4 teams will be in the second preliminary round. The winner of each preliminary round gets an automatic advance to the finals, and the top scoring non-winner from over 2 rounds will also advance as a wild card. Each round has 2 segments. Now pay attention. In the first 2 rounds, the first segment will not involve the buzzers. So resist the temptation to buzz. You can put them aside. Instead, each team will have 6 opportunities to choose a question from the board. A correct answer earns your team 10 points. And in addition to those 10 points, the correct answer earns your team an opportunity to answer a bonus question, which is worth 5 points. There are no penalties for incorrect answers. However, if you do not answer correctly before the timer sounds, then another team will have an opportunity to answer that question. If that team doesn't answer correctly, then another team will have a chance to answer, etc. The order of teams for each question is on the screen in front of you. So for those looking at home and those in the blue box. So we are going to begin with Prum House in the first position. So you can see which team gets to choose the question and answer first, and you can also see which team would be up to try second, third, and fourth. Every team will have the same number of chances to be first, second, third, and fourth. Mr. Feidelson did the math on this, so you know that it's right. There are 6 categories: history and literature, science, technology, engineering, and math, arts and culture, politics and geography, current events, and Millbrook miscellany. Thank you, Siri. Each category has 4 questions. So if it's your team's turn to choose, the team's spokesperson, and I should say that should be the person sitting in the middle, would choose the category and the number. So that person could say, for instance, arts and culture, number 3. And I will ask you the question that corresponds to that selection. Your team will then have 20 seconds to completely answer the question. You may confer with one another if you like. So unlike in previous years where you couldn't talk to one another, you can talk to one another during those 20 seconds. If you are partway through an answer when the timer goes off, I will let you finish at my sole discretion. So don't just speak slowly so that you can think more. I'll cut you off. Subsequent teams, so if you don't get it right, the second team, third team, and fourth team up would only have 10 seconds each to answer. At the end of this segment, the judges will confer and announce interim scores. And then there'll be a lightning segment, which consists of 20 questions, and for that round, you will need your buzzers. Only the team spokesperson has a buzzer, but when he or she buzzes in, any member of the team can answer. These questions are worth 10 points each. Any wrong answer, no matter whether I finish the question or not, will result in a 5-point penalty. I will then reset the clock and repeat the question. Only members of the other 3 teams can buzz in after a wrong answer in the lightning round. We'll go over those rules again when we get there. Okay? So, are there questions before we begin from the competitors? Then let's begin. Prum House, you choose first.
Could we have Millbrook number 2, please?
What coffee drink has an even distribution of espresso, steamed milk, and foamed milk?
Cappuccino.
That is correct. For 10
Nice.
points.
There.
A 5-point follow-up. What coffee drink has more steamed milk than espresso and only a light layer of foam on top?
Latte.
That's correct. 5 points.
Yes.
Okay. Next, Abbott, you get to choose.
Can we have current events too?
Current events, number 2. What former presidential candidate is campaigning to be the Democratic nominee for mayor of New York City? What former presidential candidate is campaigning to be the Democratic nominee for mayor of New York City? So that's the 20 seconds are up. Prum House? you get
Andrew
it.
Yang.
Andrew Yang is correct. For 10 points. A follow-up question only for Prum House. What former MSNBC news analyst is seeking that same nomination?
Wait, who's that question to?
To you
Oh,
only.
sorry, could you repeat the question? Sorry.
What former MSNBC news analyst is seeking that same nomination?
I don't know.
Not Cuomo. The answer is Mile Wiley.
No, his brother.
Okay, no penalty, and we move on to question number 3. Harris, you get to choose.
Politics and geography too.
Geography, number 2. In South America, what country lies between Guyana and French Guiana?
Central Guyana.
That's incorrect. Burton, you get a chance, 10 seconds to answer this question.
Suriname.
Suriname is correct for 10 points. Congratulations. A 5-point follow-up. What is the official language of Suriname?
Dutch.
Dutch is correct for 5 points. Next question, Burton.
Current events 3.
Current events. What gaming retailer gained notoriety last month when its stock rose nearly 2,000% for seemingly no good reason?
GameStop.
GameStop is correct for 10 points. Yesterday, this is your 5-point follow-up, the House of Representatives grilled Vlad Tenev, the CEO of what company that offers free app-based stock trading, about his role in GameStop's wild ride?
Robinhood.
Robinhood is correct for another 5 points. Parmas.
Can we get Millbrook number 3, please?
On Earth Day 2020, Millbrook announced that it had balanced its emissions and removal of CO2. In other words, Millbrook is what?
Carbon neutral.
Carbon neutral is correct. A 5-point follow-up. What is the largest remaining source of carbon emissions on campus?
The dining hall.
Heating oil. No penalty. Next question. Abbott.
Can we have Millbrook number 4?
How many headmasters has Millbrook had? Not yet, counting Mr. Downs. Six. Ooh, I'm so sorry. That's my bad, Harris. That should have gone to Harris for the next. Harris, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you the follow-up, and we'll make this follow-up worth 15 points. Besides Mr. Casartano and Mr. Pulling, name another Millbrook headmaster.
Mr. Downs?
That is incorrect. Buell, Callard, Wright, and Abbott.
There's more than 2.
Harris, you choose the next question.
We'll go Millbrook 1.
Millbrook, number 1. This is a miscellaneous question. What is the term used to describe individual ice crystals that grow while suspended in the atmosphere until they fall to the ground and accumulate?
The iceberg.
That is incorrect. Farmhouse.
Snowflake.
Snow is correct. Farmhouse, you get a 5-point follow-up. According to the U.S. Weather Service, what kind of precipitation consists of small, translucent balls of ice, sometimes mixed with rain or snow?
Hail.
That is incorrect. The answer is sleet. No harm. Burton, your
Mr.
choice.
Smith, may I ask a quick question?
You may.
Why did that go back to farmhouse again?
So you want to watch the screen in front of you,
Oh, sorry.
and you'll see which team is answering first, second, third, and fourth, and then what team is doing it next.
I see.
It's
Okay.
random.
I didn't know that. Okay, cool.
And
Well,
remember, you'll all have exactly the same number of first, second, third, fourth.
got it. Current events 4.
Current events number 4. What country recently announced that it would ramp up its production of oil in seeming violation of U.S. imposed sanctions?
Iran?
Iran is correct for 10 points. A 5-point follow-up. What is the name of the intergovernmental organization that aims to regulate the global production of oil?
OPEC.
OPEC is correct for 5 points. Farmhouse, your choice.
Current events 1.
Current events. Unusually cold weather has caused widespread electrical and water outages this week in what southern state?
Texas.
Texas is correct for 10 points. The president has declared the situation in Texas to be a major disaster, which allows FEMA to deploy resources on the ground to help. What does FEMA stand for?
Federal Emergency. That's all we got.
The answer is Federal Emergency Management Agency. Judges, you're feeling good calculating the scores so far? Good. Abbott, your choice. Say again? STEM, number 1. In the category of physics, who first said that for every action in nature there is an equal and opposite reaction? Newton is correct. This was Newton's, your follow-up question. This was Newton's third law of motion. What was his first law of motion? Excellent. 5 points. Harris, your choice.
History and literature 3.
History and literature, number 3. Categories poetry. Complete the quotation. Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves, and
And we stay together.
that's incorrect. Abbott. Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves, and Farmhouse?
Wait, can you say one more time? Sorry.
Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves, and Burton.
No.
Immortality. Burton, your choice.
Politics and geography 4.
Number 4, politics and geography. What Canadian province lies between Manitoba and Quebec?
Ontario.
Ontario is correct. A 5-point follow-up. Spell Saskatchewan.
S-A-C-T-U-N.
What?
S-A-S-K-A-T-C-H-E-W-A-N. Farmhouse, your choice.
Politics and geography 1.
What leader of the Bolshevik Party led the 1917 October Revolution that resulted 5 years later in the formation of the USSR?
Can you repeat the question?
What leader of the Bolshevik Party led the 1917 October Revolution that resulted 5 years later in the formation of the USSR?
Vladimir Lenin.
Vladimir Lenin is correct for 10 points. A 5-point follow-up. In what year did the USSR dissolve?
1996.
Say again?
1996.
1991. Abbott, you control the board.
Art and culture.
Art and culture. You said number 1? So Mr. Feidelson, this is our first music clue. Name the song as performed by the Millbrook Music Community Service. Born in the USA. You have a 5-point follow-up. Name this song as performed by the Millbrook Music Community Service. Sweet Child of Mine for 5 points. Harris, you control the board.
Politics and geography 3.
Politics and Geography 3. On January 1 of this year, Australia celebrated the 120th anniversary of its independence from what country?
England.
United Kingdom, that's correct. Who was the Queen of the United Kingdom when Australia gained its independence?
Queen Elizabeth.
That is incorrect, Queen Victoria. She's old, but she's not that old. Burton, you control the board.
History and literature 2.
Name the 3 major Abrahamic religions.
Judaism, Christianity, and Islam.
For 10 points, that's correct. A 5-point follow-up. What is the Arabic word for the recitation?
Arabic word for the recitation. The Hajj.
The Quran.
Quran.
Farmhouse, your choice.
History and literature 1.
Shakespeare. Complete the quotation. But soft, what light through yonder window.
Can you repeat the quotation?
But soft, what light through yonder window.
Shine.
That's incorrect. Bert.
Could you ask the question again?
But soft, what light through yonder window.
Listen.
No. Harris.
We're good.
Have it? But soft, what light through yonder window. Breaks. Tis the east and Juliet is the sun. Abbott, you control the board.
Arts and culture 3.
Arts and culture. Great. What is the term for art that is unconcerned with the literal depiction of things from the visible world?
Abstract.
That's correct. 5-point follow-up. What American painter, considered an important abstract expressionist, is famous for dripping, pouring, and splashing paint onto a canvas that lies on the floor?
We're good.
Jackson Pollock. Harris, your choice.
History and literature 4.
The topic is the Constitution. The First Amendment to the United States Constitution guarantees 5 rights and freedoms. Name 2 of them.
Freedom of speech and it's the rights to life, liberty, and happiness.
That's incorrect. Burton.
Oh, sorry, ask the question again, please.
The First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution guarantees 5 rights and freedoms. Name 2 of them.
Freedom of protest and freedom of religion.
That's incorrect. Abbott. The First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution guarantees 5 rights and freedoms. Name 2. Farmhouse?
Freedom of speech and freedom of assembly.
That's correct. Farmhouse, a 5-point follow-up. Name the other 3.
No. So it's speech, religion, assembly. Yeah, I forgot. Sorry.
Press and petition.
Oh, yes.
Is it Harris's turn, Mr. Fidelson? It's Burton's turn. Burton, your choice.
Arts and culture 2.
Arts and culture 2. What Jamaican singer wrote and recorded Redemption Song and One Love, People Get Ready?
Bob Marley.
Bob Marley is correct for 10 points. 5-point follow-up. What is the name of Bob Marley's band?
The Wailers.
The Wailers is correct. Farmhouse, your choice.
STEM 2.
STEM number 2. This is a math question. What is the area of a triangle with a base of 3 and a height of 4?
6.
6 is correct for 10 points. 5-point follow-up. What is the volume of a cone with a base length of 3, a base width of 3, and a height, what is the volume of a pyramid with a base length of 3, base width of 3, and a height of 4?
12.
12 is correct. Abbott, you control the board. Arts and culture, number 4. What artist is famous for selling Brillo boxes and painting Campbell's soup cans? Andy Warhol is correct. Buzzer beater. A 5-point follow-up. What fast food chain produced a Super Bowl ad last year that was just a video of Andy Warhol eating a cheeseburger? Burger King is correct for 5 points. Abbott, you control the board. Mr. Fidelson, was I wrong about that? Harris controls the board.
We'll go STEM 3.
STEM number 3. How many ounces are in a cup?
Wait.
8.
8 is correct. A 5-point follow-up. How many hands are in a foot?
Can you repeat that, please?
How many hands are in a foot?
Six.
I gather there are no equestrians at that table. The answer is 3. A hand is 4 inches. How you measure a horse.
Close enough. Okay.
Burton, you control the board.
STEM 4.
In what part of the body, the human body, would you find a patella?
The knee.
The knee is correct. A 5-point follow-up. The patella is present at a joint of which other 3 bones?
The femur, the tibula, and the fibula.
I'm sorry, it's the femur, the tibia, and the fibula.
Ooh, tough. I said tibula.
It's okay. All right, so let's take a quick break. We're going to have the judges do an interim score. You can stretch your shoulders a little bit.
Signify someone who does not let others' opinions cloud his or her vision.
Transparent eyeball.
The transparent In pop culture, for 10 points, I will give you the fictional address. You name the show. 124 Cock Street, Bikini Bottom. SpongeBob SquarePants is correct. Here we go. Ready? What is the most northern country in the world? Northern country.
Greenland?
Greenland is correct. From what famous movie comes the line, frankly, my dear, I don't give it?
Gone with the Wind.
That is correct. Toss-up question for 10 points in the area of history. Which president of the United States also wrote the Declaration of Independence? That is correct. Bonus question for Guest Coast boarding school does Connor Kennedy currently attend?
Deerfield.
Deerfield is correct. A series of posters were shown at the beginning of the year in the Warner Gallery. What major World War I is. Who was the original?
No, the winner moves on to the next round, and then the wild card is the top scorer among all the rounds. So, this is the lightning round. The lightning round consists of 20 questions, and for this round you will need your buzzer. So actually, before we go any further, Farmhouse, can you test your buzzer? Abbott? Harris? Burton? Okay. Only the team spokesperson has the buzzer. But when he or she buzzes in, any member of the team can answer. And unlike in previous years, I will let you confer with one another before answering. But you have to answer quickly. I'll set a 10-second timer, so you have only 10 seconds to answer the question. These questions are worth 10 points each. Any wrong answer, no matter whether you interrupt the question or not, will result in a 5-point penalty. I will then reset the clock and repeat the question, and then only members of the other 3 teams can buzz in after you've given an incorrect answer. When these questions are completed, the judges will confer and announce the final scores for this round. Do you have any questions? Okay. You don't have to wait to finish for me to finish the question, but I'm going to stop reading as soon as you buzz in.
Okay.
When you mix red paint with yellow paint, what color is your... Abbott. Okay, here's the other thing about buzzers. I really need to see the light, so try not to cover the light. Orange is correct for 10 points out. I'll give you the genus, species, and subspecies, and you tell me what animal I'm talking about. Canis lupus familiaris.
The wolf?
That's incorrect, and again, I need to see, so Burton, -5. The correct answer is the dog. How many tablespoons in a cup?
16.
Farmhouse, 16 is correct. 10 points for Farmhouse. February 19th is a Friday. What day of the week will March 19th be? It's a Friday, that's correct. What county is Millbrook School located in?
Dutchess.
Farmhouse?
Dutchess.
Dutchess County is correct for 10 points. In what state is Redwood National Park? Burton. California is correct. In ballet, what is a dance for two people called? Burton.
A duet.
Incorrect. It's a pas de deux. Minus 5 for Burton. Who was the MVP of Super Bowl 49?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady is correct. That's Burton, yeah. I really do need to see the light. But when you're covering it up like this, sorry, I can't see it. What is Mr. Casatano's middle name? Harris?
Do we have to say something now?
Minus 5 for Harris.
John.
Minus 5 for Harris. Farmhouse, Abbott, or Burton, you can buzz in. Sorry, Harris, the answer is John.
Why didn't you get it?
Because you told me you had no answer. Who wrote the Heidi Chronicles? Wendy Wasserstein. What breed of dog does Queen Elizabeth II own? Farmhouse? Corgis is correct. What animal is Ovis aureus? I think I found a tough category this time. That's a sheep. What is pyrophobia? Burton?
Fear of fire.
Fear of fire is correct for 10 points. What is the capital of California?
Sacramento.
Sacramento is correct. What U.S. automaker made news last month by announcing that all of its cars would be electric by 2035? Can't see. Must be Burton. Burton.
GM.
GM is correct. How many micrometers in a meter? Harris.
1,000.
1,000 is incorrect, minus 5. Farmhouse, Abbott, or Burton? 1,000,000. What is glossophobia? Glossophobia. The fear of public speaking. In what state is Grand Canyon National Park? Burton.
Nevada.
That's incorrect. Farmhouse? Arizona is correct. Who wrote The Color Purple? Alice Walker. Mr. Feidelson, let's name that tune. Acceptable answer. Song's name is Satisfaction, but we will accept I can't get no satisfaction. And that's the end of the lightning round. Congratulations. So why don't you all stand up and take your signs with you. For the next round, it'll be K Hall, Clark House, Day Treasures,
Known as the Yankee Killer,
And Case.
this player went on a 56-game hitting streak. The answer?
Joe DiMaggio.
Joe DiMaggio. Please. And oldest golfer to win the Masters tournament. First in 1963 and then in 1986. Arnold Palmer is incorrect.
Jack Nicklaus.
Jack Nicklaus is correct. What 20th century artist born in Spain and famous for works like Guernica is considered to be the co-founder? Pablo Picasso is correct. That would count as 8. Yeah.
So give Clark another 5.
95.
Okay.
Welcome to the stage to our new competitors.
25.
All right. I can still say welcome to the stage to our new competitors, right? Yeah. Welcome to the stage.
Thank you.
Okay, the results from the first round. Farmhouse, 130. Abbott, 65. Harris, 40. Burton, 115.
So congratulations, Abbott's advancing automatically. Sorry, Farmhouse is advancing automatically. And Burton is in the chase for the wild card spot with 115 points. Could become an important number to have in mind as you get to the end of this round, 115. Welcome back to this, or welcome to the stage, our new competitors. Do you need me to explain the rules again, or have you followed along and you think you know what we're doing?
We're good.
I have one question.
Yes.
Is 4 like more difficult than 1?
No.
It's all the same.
They're random. Okay, Hal, board is yours.
We'll go with Millbrook 1.
Millbrook, number 1. It's another winter weather question. What term is used to describe liquid precipitation that immediately turns solid when it lands on the frozen ground?
Ice?
That is incorrect.
Oh.
Clark?
Hail.
That is incorrect. No penalty in this round. Day students?
Snow.
That is incorrect. Case?
Frozen rain.
Frozen rain is correct. Clark, you control the board. Oh, you're absolutely right. My mistake. Case, you have a 5-point follow-up. What term describes solid balls of ice, which usually only form in warm summer months?
Hail.
Hail is correct. 5 points. Thank you, judges. Clark, the board is yours.
Millbrook 2.
Who is Millbrook's Dean of Faculty?
Mr. Turner.
Mr. Turner is correct. 5-point follow-up. Who is the Director of Dining Services?
Mr. Patrick.
Mr. Petrie is correct. Day students, the board is yours.
Current events for 2.
Current events, number 2. What British royal couple announced this week that they were giving up their official royal family duties?
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle.
Harry and Meghan is correct. 5-point follow-up. Harry and Meghan live in what U.S. state?
California.
California is correct. Case.
Politics and geography 3.
Politics and geography, number 3. Not counting the enclaves of Vatican City and San Marino, Italy borders 4 countries. Name 2 of them.
Switzerland and France.
Switzerland and France is correct for 10 points. For another 5 points, name the other 2.
Austria and Germany.
Austria and Slovenia. No penalty. That was a good 10-point round for Case. Cahill.
We'll do arts and culture 1.
Arts and culture, number 1. Category is painting. Who painted the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel?
Michelangelo.
Michelangelo is correct for 10 points. For a 5-point follow-up, what is the name of Michelangelo's 17-foot tall marble sculpture in Florence? David is correct.
Yeah.
Clark.
Millbrook 3.
Millbrook, number 3. A fez, a boater, and a pork pie are all types of what? A fez, a boater, and a pork pie are all types of what?
A bird.
That is incorrect. Day students?
Hat.
Hat is correct for 10 points. Day students, you have a 5-point follow-up. What do you, excuse me?
Never mind.
What do you call the flat, tasseled hat traditionally worn at graduation ceremonies?
Cap.
It's a mortarboard. Clark? Excuse me, day students, you're up.
Current events for 3.
Current events for 3. A year from now, what country will host the Winter Olympic Games?
Japan.
Japan is incorrect. Cahill.
Could you repeat the question?
A year from now, what country will host the Winter Olympic Games?
Switzerland.
That is incorrect. Case.
China.
China is correct, 10 points. Case, a 5-point follow-up only for you. Who is the president of China?
Xi Jinping.
Xi Jinping is correct. Cahill. Case.
Motor miscellaneous 4.
How long is a fortnight?
2 weeks.
2 weeks is correct. 5-point follow-up. What company developed the game called Fortnite?
Epic Games.
Epic Games is correct. Cahill.
History and literature 1.
History and literature. Number 1. The category is the Constitution. What did the 13th Amendment to the Constitution do?
Abolish slavery.
Abolish slavery is correct. 5-point follow-up only for Cahill. The 13th Amendment abolished slavery and involuntary servitude with one exception. What is that exception?
Imprisonment.
Imprisonment as punishment for a crime is correct. Clark.
Stat 1.
How many ounces are in a cup?
6.
That is incorrect. Case.
8.
8 is correct. This is the same question I asked last time, isn't it? All right. See if you're paying attention. How many hands are in a yard?
Wait, why did it go to...
Well,
12 is incorrect. The answer is 9. Day students.
Arts and culture 3.
Arts and culture 3. Is name the song. Mr. Feidelson?
Imagine.
Imagine is correct. 5-point follow-up. Name this song. Case.
Current events 1.
Current events. 1. The slate is set for tomorrow morning's Australian Open women's final match. Name one of the finalists.
Naomi Osaka.
Naomi Osaka is correct. Name the other.
Caroline Wasowski.
Jennifer Brady. No penalty. That was a good 10 points for Case. Cahill.
Politics and Geography 1.
Politics and geography. If you traveled due east from Beijing, what is the next country you would encounter?
Japan.
Japan is not correct. Jason. Thailand is not correct. Case?
South Korea.
South Korea is not correct. Clark. Case is very close. Beijing's a little bit farther north. You would have run into North Korea. Clark, you get to choose.
History and literature 2.
History and literature, number 2. Poetry. Complete the quotation. The woods are lovely, dark, and deep, but I have promises to keep. The woods are lovely, dark, and deep, but I have promises to keep. Case?
Case in your face.
That is not correct. Day student.
And miles to go before I sleep.
And miles to go before I sleep. A 5-point follow-up only for day students. Who wrote that poem?
Robert Frost.
Robert Frost is correct. Day students, your board.
Current events 4.
Current events. 4. This week's Mardi Gras celebrations were muted compared with years past. What does Mardi Gras mean?
Fat Tuesday.
Fat Tuesday is correct. 5-point follow-up. What Christian holy day comes the day after Mardi Gras?
Good Wednesday.
That is not correct. The answer is Ash Wednesday.
Oh.
Case.
Politics and geography 2.
Politics and geography, number 2. What country lies between Egypt and Algeria?
Libya.
Libya is correct for 10 points. For 5 points, what's the capital of Libya?
Tripoli.
Tripoli is correct. Cahill.
We'll go arts and culture 2.
Arts and culture. Who sang "You Are the Sunshine of My Life," signed, sealed, delivered, and I just called to say I love you?
Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder is correct. For 5 points, what Stevie Wonder song did he write about his newborn baby girl in 1976?
Isn't She Lovely?
Isn't She Lovely? Isn't that sweet? 5 points extra. Clark.
7-3.
Stem number 3. In chemistry, what word describes the ratio between the relative quantities of substances taking part in a reaction or forming a compound?
Can you repeat that?
What word describes the ratio between the relative quantities of substances taking part in a reaction or forming a compound? Day students?
Titration.
That is not correct. Okay, Hall?
Could you repeat that question?
What word describes the ratio between the relative quantities of substances taking part in a reaction or forming a compound?
Entropy.
Entropy is not correct. Case. The word is stoichiometry. Day students, you control the board.
History and literature 3.
History and literature. Shakespeare. Complete the quotation. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty place from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time, and all our yesteryears have lighted fools the way to dusty death.
Do part.
That's incorrect. Case?
Case?
That is incorrect. Clark? To keep your time, I'm going to just start halfway through. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Okay, hold on.
We're good.
Out, repent. Case?
Politics and geography 4.
Who is the current president of Russia?
Vladimir Putin.
Vladimir Putin is correct. From 1975 until the fall of the USSR in 1991, Putin served in the Soviet intelligence agency known by what three-letter name?
KGB.
KGB is correct. Okay, Hall.
History and literature 4.
In ancient Greece, who was the goddess of reason, wisdom, and war?
Athena.
Athena is correct. 5-point follow-up. In ancient Greece, who was the goddess of the hunt? Artemis.
Oh.
Clark.
Arts and culture.
Number 4 in arts and culture?
Yeah.
This is a dance question. What style of dance requires 4 couples and features moves called do-si-do, sachet, and promenade? Right answer is correct. What style of dance, this is your 5-point follow-up, what style of dance consists of movements called top rock, down rock, power moves, and freezes?
Hip-hop.
Break dancing. Day students.
STEM 2.
STEM 2. Physics. In the famous equation E equals mc squared, what is C?
Is it velocity?
No, that's incorrect. Clark. Case?
Speed of light.
Be more specific.
Vacuum.
Speed of light in a vacuum is correct. Case for 10 points. Case for 5 points. In the equation N equals C over V. C is the speed of light in a vacuum. V is the speed of light in a medium. And N is what? It's the index of refraction. Case, the board is yours.
Step four.
Examine 4. In an isosceles triangle, if one angle is 100, what are the other two angles?
40.
And?
40.
40 and 40 is correct. 5-point follow-up. What is the area of a trapezoid with a height of 5 and bases of 10 and 20?
75.
75 is correct for 5 points. Okay, you can stretch. Please don't leave your area while the judges calculate the scores. How's everybody feeling?
Great.
Feeling good?
Joe DiMaggio.
Joe DiMaggio. Please, and oldest golfer to win the Masters tournament. First in 1963 and then in 1986. Arnold Palmer is incorrect.
Jack Nicklaus.
Jack Nicklaus is correct. A 20th century artist born in Spain and famous for works like Guernica is considered to be the co-founder.
Okay. At the end of the first round, Kay Hall, 55. Clark House, 25. Day students, 65. Case, 130.
As a reminder, the wild card from the top scorer, non-winner from the other round, scored 115. So any score above 115 will advance automatically. Before we start the lightning round, let's check your buzzers. Kay Hall, Clark House, day students. Case. Excellent. Please remember that I need to see the light when it comes on. Do you need me to read the rules again, or do you understand how this works? Remember, any incorrect answer comes with a 5-point penalty. Where is Acadia National Park? Maine. Okay, students, Maine is correct. Millbrook's campus is spread over 2 towns, the town of Washington and what?
No.
Day students? Armenia is incorrect, -5. Okay, well, Stanford is correct.
So, two people said Armenia, were they both, was that both day students?
Day students buzzed in. Day students -5, K Hall +10. What date will be the 100th day of 2021? Case?
April 1st.
April 1st is incorrect, -5. April 10th. Who was the MVP of Super Bowl 51? Case?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady is correct. Who wrote The Great Gatsby?
F.
Day
Scott
student?
Fitzgerald.
F. Scott Fitzgerald is correct. Day student, 10 points. What is nephrology? The study of the kidneys. How many seconds are there in an hour? Stay students. Stay students and an answer.
3,060.
That is
600.
correct. Okay, Hall.
3,600.
3,600.
Sorry, I thought I was.
What European country announced this week that it would be investigating university professors who espouse American ideas that tend to corrupt society? France. What animal is Equus ferus caballus? Hey, Hall.
Horse?
Horse is correct. What is hydrophobia? Hey, Hall. Say again. Fear of water is correct. When you mix blue paint with yellow paint, what color is your paint? Green. Stay students? Green is correct. What Latin motto appears on the Great Seal of the United States? Stay students? You need an answer, stay students.
Freedom and justice for all.
K. Hall, Clark, or Case?
Could you repeat the question?
What Latin motto appears on the seal of the United States? K. Hall. E pluribus unum. What two countries comprise the majority of the Iberian Peninsula?
Our buzzer isn't working.
Michael? Case?
Portugal and Spain.
Portugal and Spain is correct. What is the name of Michelangelo's sculpture of Mary and Jesus at St. Peter's Basilica? It's the Pieta. Next week, Millbrook will be undergoing its decennial accreditation by NYSAIS, or NYSAIS. What does NYSAIS stand for?
New York State Association of Independent Schools.
That is correct. How many pounds are in a ton?
2,000.
Say, students?
2,000.
2,000 is correct. What animal is Panthera leo? Kate?
Lion.
Lion is correct. What is dendrophobia? It's a fear of trees. Where is Rocky Mountain National Park? Jason? Say again. Colorado is correct. And finally, Mr. Feidelson, let's play Name That Tune. Case?
Poker face.
Poker face is correct.
He's playing it. He's playing the song.
Judges, calculate your totals, please.
He's playing the song. He's the one playing the song.
That was an accident.
Again, Coast Boarding School does Connor Kennedy currently attend?
Deerfield.
Deerfield is correct. A series of posters were shown at the beginning of the year in the Warner Gallery. What major war? World War I is correct. Who was the original owner of these posters? Your answer, please.
Was it Edward Cullen?
That is correct, Edward.
I'll wait to hear from the booth. I am. We don't know which kids to go to the tables until Dr. T announces his thing.
You're good to go now.
Dr. Juzinia? Good member, do you know the results? Would you like to announce them?
We have K Hall with 105 points, Clark House with 25, Day Students with 100, and Case with 175.
So, in our final round, we're going to have Armhouse, Case, and which team scored 115 in the first round?
125.
125, is that the highest? Burton, you want to?
So, Burton, Jeff, did you announce that into your mic and face your camera?
So our final teams are Farmhouse, Porter, and Case. Why don't you do this number? It doesn't matter to me which one. Okay, welcome to the final round. Congratulations, you're on the board. In this final round, we're going to go back to the way that things have always been for College Bowl. 3 teams, 2 segments in the round. The first segment is a toss-up and bonus segment, which consists of 20 toss-up questions, each of which is followed by 2 bonus questions. You'll have 10 seconds to answer the toss-up. Correct answers are worth 10 points. Now, on a toss-up question, you may not confer with one another, and only the person who buzzes in may answer. So now you each have your own buzzer. If either of these rules is violated, there will be a 5-point penalty. You may not talk to one another on a toss-up, and only the person who buzzes in may answer the question. There's no penalty for getting an incorrect answer unless the student buzzes in before I finish the question. You can do that, and you can answer the question, and if you get it correct, you get your points. But if you interrupt me and you're wrong, -5. If an answer is incorrect, I'll reset the buzzers and repeat the question, but only students on the other 2 teams may buzz in. And again, they may buzz in at any time during the question. If your team answers the toss-up correctly, you will receive 2 bonus questions worth 5 points each. You may confer for 10 seconds. Then your captain, whoever buzzed in, must provide the answer. After all the questions are completed in the toss-up and bonus segment, the judges will confer and announce interim scores. I'm going to test the buzzers in a moment. Does anyone have questions about how this round works before I do?
Can we confer before we buzz in, or is there no conferring at all?
There's no conferring during the toss-up question. Any other questions? So why don't we start? Farmhouse, test your buzzers. Perfect buzzing. All right. Category is literature. For 10 points. By some accounts, the best-selling novel of all time is a story about a young wizard and his friends and their lives.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter is incorrect. -5 for Burton for interrupting me. Who wrote that story? Case?
J.K. Rowling.
J.K. Rowling is correct for 10 points. Follow-up for case only. You do not need to buzz in, and you may confer. There were 7 books in the Harry Potter series. What was the subtitle of the 4th book, released in 2000?
Goblet of Fire.
Goblet of Fire is correct for 5 points. For an additional 5 points, what is the title of the 2-part play based on the Harry Potter series that opened on Broadway in 2018?
The Cursed Child.
Say again?
The Cursed Child.
Harry Potter and the Cursed Child is correct for another 5 points. A 10-point toss-up for anyone on the stage. Global warming is a type of climate change driven by the human emissions of what kinds of gases? Farmhouse?
Greenhouse gases.
Greenhouse gases is correct. Farmhouse, a 5-point follow-up for you only. Most human-caused carbon dioxide emissions come from burning oil, natural gas, and a kind of black sedimentary rock known as what?
Coal.
Coal is correct. For another 5 points, about 20% of electricity in New York is produced by a hydroelectric plant near what famous waterfall? Niagara Falls is correct for another 5 points. A toss-up for anyone. Category is Millbrook. Harris, Schoolhouse, Case, the Chapel, Guest House, Clark, and Coward House are the buildings that define what Millbrook quadrangle? Case?
The Durham quadrangle.
That is incorrect. No penalty. Farmhouse or Burton? It's the Flagler Club. No worries. Toss up in the category of sports. 2 weeks ago, Tampa Bay won Super Bowl LV. What number does LV represent? Farmhouse? 55 is correct. A follow-up for Farmhouse only. What state does the losing team call home?
Missouri.
Missouri is correct. Second follow-up, until 2015, Missouri had 2 professional football teams. What state does that other team now call home? Need an answer. No, the team is the St. Louis, or used to be the St. Louis Rams, now the Los Angeles, California team. Category is geography. It's a toss-up for anyone. New York shares a land border with 5 other American states. Name all 5. Case?
New Jersey, Connecticut, Vermont, Pennsylvania, and Massachusetts.
That is correct. 10 points for Case. 5-point follow-up only for Case. What state shares a land border with only one other state? You don't need to buzz in.
Oh, sorry. Maine.
Maine is correct. Another 5-point follow-up. This is only for Case. Maine shares a border with 2 Canadian provinces. Name them.
New Brunswick and
That is correct for 5 points. Toss up for anyone. The category is world languages. Harry Potter may be the best-selling novel of all time, but it took that crown from which much older novel, first published in Spain in 1605, about a chivalrous nobleman and his imaginary knighthood? Chase.
Don Quixote.
Don Quixote is correct for 10 points. 5-point follow-up. Who wrote Don Quixote?
J.K. Rowling.
Miguel de Cervantes. In the novel, what was the name of Don Quixote's squire sidekick?
Ralph Mira.
Sancho Panza. No penalties. Category is poetry. It's a toss-up for anyone. Finish this line from Joyce Kilmer. I think that I shall never see a poem as lovely as... Case? A tree is correct. Case, a 5-point follow-up only for you. Finish this line from Alfred Tennyson. 'Tis better to have loved and lost than...
To never have loved at all.
Unfortunately, it's never to have loved at all. Another 5-point follow-up. Finish this line from Dylan Thomas. Do not go gentle into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of...
The night.
The... Say again?
The night.
The light. Okay. Pop culture, it's a toss-up for anyone. Yesterday's New York Times profiled a new fashion collection by 21-year-old fashion designer Ella Emhoff, which immediately sold out. Who is Ms. Emhoff's stepmother? Case?
Vice President Kamala Harris.
Vice President Kamala Harris is correct. Case, a 5-point follow-up. Ms. Emhoff graduated from Wildwood School in Los Angeles in 2018 and is currently a student at what art school in Manhattan?
Fashion Institute of Technology.
It's Parsons Institute of Design. 4 recent Millbrook grads have attended Parsons. Name one of them. It would have been Olivia Ghali, Ale Pagny, Grace Haudenschild, or Emma Yeager. Math, it's a toss-up. What is the square root of 625? Case? Need an answer.
23.
That is incorrect. No penalty. Farmhouse or Burton? The answer was 25. The toss-up category is art. In 2017, Christie's auction house in New York broke a record when it sold for $450 million a painting called Salvator Mundi by what Renaissance painter? Case?
Salvador Dali.
That is incorrect. No penalty. Farmhouse or Burger? It's Leonardo da Vinci. The U.S. Constitution, it's a toss-up. What are the first 3 words of the United States Constitution? Farmhouse? We the people is correct. Farmhouse, a 5-point follow-up just for you. Article 3 of the Constitution describes the powers of which branch of government?
Legislative.
That is incorrect. It's the judiciary. Article 3, this is another follow-up, it's okay. Article 3 also says that levying war against the United States or giving aid and comfort to enemies of the United States is a crime called what?
Treason.
Treason is correct, 5 points. It's a toss-up, pop culture. What song by Olivia Rodrigo?
Driver's license.
Driver's license is correct for 10 points. Farmhouse for 5 points. Rodrigo rose to fame in 2019 as the star of what Disney Plus television series?
High School Musical, the musical. The series.
High School Musical, the series is correct. What is the name of the high school in the eponymous TV show?
East High.
East High is correct for another 5 points. No embarrassment. A toss-up. The category is measurement. How many astronomical units from the Earth to the Sun? Chase?
1,000.
Incorrect. No penalty. Burton or Farmhouse? Burton?
780.
That is incorrect. Farmhouse? The answer is 1. That is, in fact, the definition of an astronomical unit. Shakespeare. It's a toss-up. I'll give you the quote, you tell me the play. To be or not to be that? Kate? Hamlet is correct for 10 points. Case, a 5-point follow-up just for you. Is this a dagger which I see before me, the handle toward my hand?
Macbeth.
Macbeth is correct for 5 points. A2, Brute?
Romeo and Juliet.
Julius Caesar. No penalty. The toss-up, category is Millbrook. There are 2 physics teachers at Millbrook. Name them. Case?
Mr. Shute and Dr. Lacoste.
Mr. Shute and Dr. Lacoste are correct. Follow-up for case only. Prior to working at Millbrook, Mr. Shute taught at King's Academy in Jordan. What is the capital of Jordan?
Amman.
Amman is correct. Prior to working at Millbrook, Dr. Lacoste taught at Jordan High School in Durham, North Carolina. What is the capital of North Carolina?
Raleigh.
Raleigh is correct. It's a toss-up. The category is biology. What is the name of the 33 individual bones that form the human spinal column? Case?
Vertebrae.
Vertebrae is correct for 10 points. A 5-point follow-up for Case. The top 7 vertebrae are called C1 through C7. What does the C stand for?
Clavicle.
Cervical, for the neck. The next 12 vertebrae are called T1 through T12. What does the T stand for?
Thoracic.
Thoracic is correct, another 5 points. It's a toss-up in pop culture. What Netflix series is credited with causing a run on chess sets? Burton. Queen's Gambit is correct. Burton, a 5-point follow-up. What Netflix series follows a group of young socialites in 1813 London?
Peaky Blinders.
Bridgerton. Another follow-up. 4 seasons down and 2 to go in which Netflix series about the reign of Queen Elizabeth II? The Crown is correct. 5 points. It's a toss-up. Math. I paid for my meal with a $20 bill and got $3.77 back in change. How much was my meal? Case?
1633.
That is incorrect. Farmhouse?
1623.
1623 is correct. A 5-point follow-up for Farmhouse. I invested $100 in Bitcoin. You might want your pen and paper for this. I invested $100 in Bitcoin. On Monday, it went up 50%. On Tuesday, it went down 50%. On Wednesday, it went up 50%. On Thursday, it went down 50%. On Friday, it went up 50%. How much is my investment worth on Friday?
150.
That's incorrect. $84.38. Another 5-point follow-up. If an investment was worth $100 on day 1, and it lost 1% of its value on day 2, and every day after that, on what day would its value drop below $1?
20.
Day 40. 460. Categories art, it's a toss-up. And this is a name that tune toss-up. Case?
Stairway to Heaven.
Stairway to Heaven is correct. A 5-point follow-up.
Born in the USA.
Incorrect. Smells like Teen Spirit. Another 5-point follow-up.
Under the Bridge.
Under the Bridge is correct for 5 points. It's a toss-up. Category sports. The Last Dance is a 10-part ESPN miniseries about the 97-98 season of which NBA team? Chicago Bulls is correct for Bert, 10 points. 5-point follow-up. After that season, the team's stars moved on. Michael Jordan retired, and Scottie Pippen was traded to what team? You don't need to sign it. The Houston Rockets. Another 5-point follow-up. What team signed Dennis Rodman as a free agent? The LA Lakers is correct for 5 points. And that is the end of the first segment. So don't go anywhere, but we'll have the judges tally their scores.
I know. That was God.
All right, after all you've done on that table, I think you can excuse yourself.
He said 20, he said 30, so
I believe Burton's kicking back.
Okay. You want to come up to the...
Farmhouse with 80. Burton with 25. Case with 135.
As a reminder, there are 200 points available in the lightning round, and any incorrect answer can be -5. It can be big swings in the lightning round. Any questions before I begin? Remember, there is no conferring.
Is it the same as what we just did?
It's the same as what we did the last time around. So let me read the rules of the lightning round.
But there's no penalty for remaining.
These questions are worth 10 points each. The same rules apply as in the toss-ups, with one exception. Any wrong answer, no matter whether I have finished the question or not, will result in a 5-point penalty. After a wrong answer, I'll reset the buzzer and repeat the question. Only members of the other two teams may buzz in. When these questions are completed, the judges will confer and announce the final scores. Any questions? What is Felis catus? Case? A cat is correct. Where did Perseverance land yesterday? Case? Mars is correct. On what date will Millbrook celebrate commencement this year? Barbara. May 30th is incorrect. Case, Burton.
May 28th.
May 28th is incorrect. Case.
May 29th.
May 29th is correct. -5, -5, +10. Where is Shenandoah National Park? Case.
Virginia.
Virginia is correct. When you mix red paint with blue paint, what?
Purple.
Case. Purple is correct. How many inches in a yard? Case.
36.
36 is correct. Hundreds of protesters have been arrested this week in the city of Yangon. In what country? Burton.
Burma.
Myanmar or Burma is correct. What is ophthalmology? Case.
Eyes, the study of eyes.
Study of eyes is correct. What animal is Ailerus fulgens? It's the red panda. What is oncology? What is oncology?
Study of the ears.
That is incorrect. Farmhouse or Burton? Oncology is the study of cancer or tumors. What was the name of Don Quixote's horse? Rocinante. What is Charlie Brown's sister's name? Farmhouse? Lucy is incorrect. Case.
Lisa.
Lisa is incorrect. Burton, do you want to give it a shot? Sally Brown. -5, -5. Who wrote the opera Porgy and Bess? Case. George Gershwin is correct. Who is Millbrook's assistant head of school for academics? We can't see. Case.
Miss Whitehouse.
That is incorrect. Farmhouse or Burton?
Can you say that one more time?
Who is Millbrook's assistant head of school for academics? Ms. Clark. Where is Badlands National Park? Okay. South Dakota is correct. Who was the MVP of Super Bowl 54?
Patrick Mahomes.
Can I just see your blank? Patrick Mahomes is correct. What is ornithology? Okay.
Study of birds.
Study of birds is correct. How many cups in a gallon? What is odontology? It's the study of teeth. And the final question is name that tune. All right, to be quick to talk about these scores. While they're doing that, can everybody in this room give a big round of applause to Mr. Feidelson, to Mr. Cohen.
Do this in third place first order. Burton with 40 points. In second place, Farmhouse with 70 points. And Case with a commanding 230 points.
Are you that cheat code?
Well,